Hi crafters, it's Karen and I have another scrapbook process layout to share. I am using the Maggie Holmes Shine collection from Crepe Paper. Love this paper. And I am scrapbooking this really sweet picture of my mother and I that I took when one day I was taking her around running errands and we stopped for lunch. So I knew I wanted to use this black and white striped sheet from the Paper Studio to kind of frame out my layout. I love a good black and white stripe. I bought a lot of those sheets of paper from Hobby Lobby when the paper was half off, just so that I could use it for this purpose, to frame out my layouts. I bought some in this diagonal black and white stripe and some just, the horizontal. But anyway, my idea for this particular layout was to have this one, it's about maybe a 3-inch strip, piece of paper, pattern paper going down the center, and then to have about 3 1-inch strips coming on either side off of it, but for those pieces to come off of that centerpiece in more of a diagonal way. You'll see what I mean, or I'm sure you could see from the beginning photo how it came out, and I do just love the way it did come out. I'm sure I will go back to using this layout or sketch or whatever again, because I think it was a really sweet way to highlight some of those pretty prints from the paper collection. I only purchased like maybe 7 or 8 12x12 sheets from the Maggie Holmes Shine collection, but I do have the 6x6. So this was a good way to use more of my 12x12s without using, great chunks of my 12x12 papers, if you know what I'm saying. So, and then of course I wanted to add some black and white stripes there somewhere because I just love that look. I can't think of a time when a black and white stripe does not work well. So then after I have it all put together, I decide about the orientation, if I'm sure I want it to be in that orientation, and I do. For this photo, I think that's the one that works well because, as you can see, we're looking down in this particular photo. So the more narrow part of this strip that I have put together is below us. So that's why it looked better this way, with the wider, part being above us, if you know what I mean. I think you do. So now I'm trying to decide how I want to layer the photo itself, because I do have so many layers going on there. I knew I didn't want to overly layer the photo itself, give it more of a too much of a photo mat, because I have so many layers here. Oh, and then I decided to add some of this peach with the offset black dots on it. I love that paper. So I added that in as well. And that just kind of finishes it off. So because I added so many layers here to this piece, I don't do a lot of layers on the photo itself. I just give it a photo, mat it once, and I do put it on some foam dimensionals to set it up off of the page a little bit. So there we go. I think that looks sweet. I love this peach color that we're finding in the crepe paper and Maggie Holmes collections. I just love this because it's like that peach with just a hint of a rose color, and it's just very sweet. So now I'm going to put those black and white stripes back above and below my photo. I think that kind of contains the photo, kind of sets it apart from the strips in the background. Makes it so that it doesn't get lost with all those colors behind it, you know. Now I'm going to fuss around with the ephemera pack. Oh, I'm going to cut out this frame off of the back of this sheet. I wish I had cut out more of these frames because they come out so nice. If I ever have the opportunity to buy more of that sheet, I will. Because when you cut out the center of them, they just have a really cool animated look. So I'm going to set that in the top right hand part of my photo, and I'm going to kind of offset it a little bit. Now I'm going to fuss around with the ephemera pack. And I'm trying to use up a lot of ephemera and chipboard pieces in my layouts, which kind of goes against my nature a little bit because I tend to scrapbook less is more. I'm trying to make myself embellish more, you know, without making the layout look overly crowded. Sometimes it gets tricky. But yeah, because, you know, in order to use up my stash, I need to learn to embellish. But with all of these pieces from crepe paper and this Maggie Holmes collection, they just make it so easy to make the stickers work with the ephemera, work with the chipboard. They just make it so easy, crepe paper does. And I just love it. I love working with it. And in this ephemera pack, there are acetate pieces, which is how I got my title. And there's that little plastic piece. It's like a little clip, and it says "Sweet Stuff," and I put that in the top left of my photo. But my title came from the ephemera pack, and I used the piece that says "Happy Day" and then the acetate piece that says "Together," and that's my title. I was going to break out my thickers, but I didn't have to. I just used the ephemera. So there I used the dimensional foam to set my photo up away from the layout a little bit. Now I'm going to go through my stickers, and there's so many cute stickers. I just wish they all worked. But I do pick and choose. I use quite a bit, but I do pick and choose. And I have trouble, the one thing I have to say is that I do have trouble kind of getting some of these chipboard pieces out. I end up having to use my craft knife to pry some out because they're in there real well. So I'm using the ampersand sticker, which always signifies or means together in my opinion. Whenever I see the ampersands, now I confused myself, but whenever I see it I think of together, so I thought it worked perfectly for this photo. And these flowers, these Maggie Holmes flowers, oh my goodness, if she put out a sheet just filled with those flowers that she has, a chipboard sheet, oh my gosh, I would stock up on those. Or if she did a chipboard sheet that just had a bunch of her birds on it, I would stock up on those as well. Wouldn't that be a great idea if she did that? If crepe paper did that? I think it would be. Because I can use these chipboard pieces on any crepe paper collection because their colors and their tones just work so well together, I think. Now I'm sorry you don't see the very bottom of my layout. I'm going to do a small little cluster in the bottom right so that it kind of works in a diagonal fashion from my title in the upper left. And I did put the happy day up on dimensional foam as well, so that was more prominent, so that there was more dimension. Now I'm layering that pink sticker ticket. It says together, and then that little banner piece is outlined in the gold foil, and then I just used the chipboard bird. Oh, she's so cute, that bird. And I layered it on top. And then I'm going to use some of the plus signs from the chipboard, from the sticker sheet as well. And I go back and forth trying to decide whether I want to use my stamp. I have a wooden stamp with the plus sign symbol on it as well. So I was going to do some stamping, but for risk of it being a fail, I decided not to. See? Yeah, I liked the white space the way it is. So, and then I thought I could use some of these Maggie Holmes Flair, and this is from probably a flea market collection, I'm not sure, but the colors matched perfectly, but I didn't feel like the images were a good match. And then I brought in these butterflies, and these are like epoxy butterflies. They have specks of pink and blue and almost like a glitter inside them. So I just take 3 little epoxy butterflies from Recollections at Michael's and add them to the layout. Anytime I can go back to my regular stash to work with a collection, I'm just tickled to be able to do that, because I'm really trying to work through my stash. So we took this selfie together, and I ended up sending this photo to both of my sisters, who I knew were working. So it was more or less to get them jealous that Mom and I were out to lunch having a relaxing day while they were both working. I know that's not nice, but they appreciated it. And then I'm stamping in the date. I don't go for the specific date when I stamp in the dates. If I get the month and the year right, then that's all I really need to focus on, because it's not like I'm scrapbooking, my babies. So the exact date isn't necessary. So I'm just doing some journaling. I used the ebony color spray for my splatters from Recollections, and that completes the layout. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I am sure I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.